Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Night after night in the dark I'm alone, so find me a match of my own.
Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne here. I've got Keisha, and that was my favorite song, and we're here to talk about Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 8. Please take your time. And I hope you guys have listened. I have an episode out today that's an interview with Natalie. It's Nat Hully. She told me she was very interesting, and it was great to talk to her. She's very sweet, love her giggle, and I told her I loved her giggle. You know what she told me, Keisha?
What?
She told me that she never realized that she giggled like that until she watched herself on television and was like, I didn't know I giggled like that all the time. I was like, well, I think it's real cute.
I can't believe no one's ever told her about her giggle.
No one ever told her. Yeah,
Huh.
it's cute though.
It's a cute
Yeah.
and then she usually puts her hands up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing today in Texas? Sweating your ass off?
Oh, Mary Payne, it is like the devil's balls are just resting over the state of Texas right now.
Oh
It's
God.
it's dangerously hot here. It really,
Mhm.
really is. I need to move. I need to move immediately. Like it is dangerous. Like they actually did a thing of how many people have died
Oh yeah. Mhm.
this summer already in the Texas heat. It is not cute. Like
Yeah, it's
at
not good.
all.
We do that every time there's like a big snowstorm here. They'll give us the statistics of the amount of people that died shoveling. That's the kind of thing they do
Like
here. Yeah.
I want to know what it's like to have that. You know what I mean? Like a snowstorm. We
Well,
just get heat and hurricanes.
we get the heat here too. We got all the seasons here in Virginia for sure.
Mm-mm.
And it is hot here, but what we've had mostly, this is so intriguing to other people, but what we've mostly had the problem here is the smoke from the
Oh
fires that are
yeah,
coming
that's
from
right.
Canada or wherever the fuck they're coming from. I don't know, but it's like you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
outside and it's like it's hazy as if like you're just
Still?
walking into yesterday it totally was. And today the weather is a little bit better, but it's all like still like dangerous levels of smoke to be outside. You
Oh,
go
that's
walk the
crazy.
dogs and you come in, you're like, me and the dogs are like 12-pack a day
Oh
smokers. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Smokers cough and everything.
It's hot and it's humid and smoky. The smoke is better today, but my God. Oh, and I know how that Texas heat is because being from Mississippi, like I know. It's
And
awful.
we don't have all the seasons here.
No,
We only
you don't.
have summer and maybe a little bit of fall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fall's my
that's
favorite
it.
season.
And mine too, because guess it's our birthday month is in the
Maybe
fall.
that's
I
why.
think so too. And Halloween's my favorite holiday.
Oh, not me. Not me. I'm not a fan.
Okay, I'm ending the we're done. Officially, we have to break up right now because you're just being disrespectful.
It's just like I don't like scary movies. I don't like Halloween. I don't like to be scared.
Oh,
I don't think anybody needs to decorate for Halloween. I don't get it.
well, I
I know,
feel
I'm
personally
sorry.
attacked.
I'm
Attacked in
sorry.
everything that you just said. I have been attacked.
I'm sorry.
I,
I'm
mm,
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
well,
sorry.
okay, we need couples therapy for this.
It's so funny because I'm such a huge fan, back in the day and, I guess currently of Stassi Schroeder. And she is such a huge Halloween nut. She does
Mm,
all the decorating, all the
yes,
everything for Halloween. And I'm always
that's
like,
us too.
that's one thing about her I don't enjoy. I don't get it. But whatever.
Shame,
To each their own. To each their own.
dreadful,
I'm sorry.
just
My friend
dreadful.
Mary down the street, they have this it's like a scarecrow mannequin thing, and they sit it on a bar stool on their front porch, and it's got a pumpkin head.
Hmm.
And every time I drive by their house, which is 100 times a day, because I got to pass it to get out of my neighborhood, it scares the shit out of me. I'm like, there's somebody on your, never mind. Every time I'm like, there's somebody. Oh, it's years now. Years I've been doing it every year. They didn't put it up last year and I was grateful.
Well, we have a princess chair that we sit on the porch that has like a 7-foot skeleton on it with a witch's hat, along with
Okay.
several other things out there. Yeah,
Okay. Well, when we get into October, you'll send me some pictures and I'll tell
I
you
sure will.
yay or
Yeah.
nay. It's gonna spoiler alert, it's all gonna be nay.
I already knew that. I'm like, why is she even giving me the option? There's gonna be nothing but nays right
I
there.
know people in my neighborhood, they put those spider webs all over their house and stuff. I'm like, that's just gonna be a pain in the ass to take down.
But we're willing to take that risk.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how we got into that, but oh yeah, October.
The
Well, listen,
seasons. Yeah.
everybody listened to my interview with Natalie. She was interesting and I loved talking to her. And I do think she indicates that she does make a love match there in Colombia. So we'll see. We'll
I'm
see.
still going with Juan Pablo. That's the taxi driver, right? I
Yeah,
think that's her dude.
why didn't I ask her? I should have asked her about that. I forgot. That was dumb of me. I told you I was going
That's
to, and
her.
then I forgot.
I think that's her dude right there. I really do.
N- I think it's Alejandro with the weird earring on the top of his ear. That's,
Hopefully he's put some Neosporin on it by now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this week, Susan had that guy that had the eyebrow piercing, and I was very surprised that she was okay with it.
She was okay with a lot of things about him.
He was pretty cute. He was real
I
cute.
like him.
He looked
Yeah.
a little bit like a combination between Teddy Mellencamp's husband
Oh,
and
oh.
Tamara Judge's husband. A little bit of a combo.
Well, I know who Tamara's husband is, but I don't know how Teddy's husband looks. I thought you were gonna
Eh,
say her dad.
no, 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 no. Edwin, her
Okay.
husband, sort of looks like this guy.
I'll have to
Yeah.
look him up.
We had a lot of good hair on this episode. I'll just put it that way.
We did.
Um, so let's get started. Season 1, episode 8, Match Me Abroad. Please take your time. Let's start with Michelle. Michelle is the princess marketing manager using Katarina, the matchmaker in Prague. So
hmm
Michelle arrives in Prague, and right away she meets up with this guy, Michael. We don't get any explanation, but I guess he's the driver.
Right.
She's like, "Are you Michael? Okay, let's go." And he's pointing out some things to her. And she gets to her hotel, the Mozart, which I forgot to look up the prices. I wrote it down. Said, like, I love to look up the prices of these places because it looked real nice. Looked real
Yes, it did.
nice. And she goes, she pulls herself together, takes a nap, and goes to meet Katarina at her office. Katarina, they sit down, and Katarina has like a legit office. We have not seen
Yes.
Juan in an office. Mm-mm.
Nor Nina.
They're just wandering the streets.
Basically meeting people at restaurants and barbershops.
Yes, yeah. Katarina's all business. She's like, "You will come to
Yes,
my
she
office and sit
is.
across from me like a principal." Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says to Michelle, "I want to know really what you mean by equality in a relationship." And Michelle explains, well, I'm a feminist and I want to be treated as an equal person in the relationship. Then she
hmm
talks about growing up and society tells you that girls have to be a certain way. And she's trying to retrain her brain to understand that being pretty is not the most important thing. There are lots of other things about you that would be interesting. And Katarina sort of nods her head and she goes, so maybe you
I
just
did
don't.
too.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
said whom too because like don't you do princess parties and
right.
all of that kind of stuff and princesses are pretty. You dress up in I mean, the dresses
Yeah,
that I've seen her in, the princess dresses look like they came from Party City.
for sure.
Um but some of the things just don't go together. They're opposites of what she says.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's interesting. She wants to be a pretty, pretty princess, but she doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. So Katarina, who is legit, real deal, I've
Yeah.
decided, maybe the only one,
Mhm.
says, do you think maybe you just don't trust men and don't think you can find someone you can rely on in that way? And she was
Mhm.
like, And she tears up and she goes, yeah, trusting is really hard for me. And, her last boyfriend did cheat on her. Katarina says, I think that she's hard on herself and she's unconsciously trying to have control over men so that she doesn't get hurt. Which Katarina is always just dead on. She's like Mark
She's
L.
spot on.
Wahlberg. Yeah, she's like Mark L. Wahlberg from Temptation Island. Yeah.
She's spot on and she gives it to them and she doesn't give two shits of how they receive it. You know what I
You're
mean?
right.
It's like, I'm
Yep.
still gonna spit you the truth. And I think Michelle and all her teeth need that.
Mhm. She does
Yeah.
have a lot of teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Katarina says, all right, so I've got him to show you this match I've got for you. He's a doctor. And she
Mhm.
shows a photo with this guy. He's 41. His name is Michael. He's very Americanized. He has a wide range of interests. You know, he's a doctor. He likes to bake and he likes to travel. I'm like, well, he sounds a
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Yep, you would think. Yep. Yep. I had high
So
hopes.
I did too. Real cute. So she's getting dressed and she's got on this yellow dress and she says she's going on a baking date with this doctor. And she was like, I think that's kind of a fun idea because it's like something you could do together, but you don't have to like maybe talk too much or whatever. So she meets what we're going to call Michael with the good hair.
Hold
Um,
on, let's go back. Let's go back. Can we go
okay.
back?
All right. Yeah. Go back.
I have issues with Michelle's shoe game. Her shoe game is not strong.
You mean you didn't like those gray ballet flats?
Well, I love ballet flats. I just don't know. That's all she seems to wear because if you go back and you see her in the princess dresses,
Uh huh.
she's got on ballet flats too. Like maybe that's her thing.
Maybe she has plantar fasciitis.
What the hell is that? You just said that like I would know. Okay, let me get my phone and Google search it. Oh, unfortunately, I can't spell it. So educate me,
Plantar
please.
fasciitis, plantar fasciitis. I have it. Lots of people have it.
Okay.
It's some sort of like shortening of a tendon that is between like your ankle and your heel. Basically, like if you do like a super strong heel stretch, is sort of what
Mhm.
fixes it. Like you can wear like the special sock that holds your foot in a flex position while you sleep. Like it's a whole thing. But anyway, it makes the bottom of your foot, especially around your heel, makes it really, really hurt. So that's why I am never, ever, ever without shoes. I am always in a Birkenstock at all times. Like if I get out of the bed to go to the bathroom, I'm wearing something because if you just walk on a hard floor, it hurts. So maybe she has a foot problem, plantar fasciitis or something, and she can't wear any
Hmm.
kind of a heel.
But she could still wear
A
better
wedge.
shoes on a day. Because I have borderline flat feet, like they run in my family, so I
Yeah.
can't really do heels or anything like that. But I can rock the hell out of a damn wedge,
A
all
wedge
day,
or
every
like a
day.
platform or yeah.
Yes, yes, I can. And
Mhm.
I think she should have worn that because the dress was so cute,
The dress was cute, I agree.
and she just kind of took it away with those
Well, she was
gray
like,
flats.
"Baking, that means closed-toed shoes." I was like, "Why? Do you think they're gonna pour hot oil on your toes? You don't have to have on closed-toe shoes to be baking. That doesn't make any sense." But I think she only has closed-toed flat ballet flats. I think you're right.
I think so too.
So she goes to meet Michael with the good hair, and she says, "Oh my God, his hair! His hair is as tall as my hopes and dreams for the future." And he puts his hat on, which covered his head, which was hilarious. And he tells her, "Oh, I have a baking blog." And she goes, "Oh, wow." So she's like really legit trying to make conversation. She goes, "Oh, well, how's that going? Like, that's interesting." And he goes, "The people seem to like it in the Czech Republic." She goes, "Okay." So he goes, "We're going to bake a banana Nutella bobakova." And she goes, "Okay, great." He said, "Do you like that?" She goes, "Oh, I like anything. This sounds great." So she's
Mhm.
standing there and he says, he's really into like the measuring and that.
Yeah.
And he says, "I study science and that's why, I'm fascinated with the chemistry with baking." She goes, "Oh my God. Yeah, I did. So you went to med school. Did you have to like do dissections?" He says, "Yeah." She's really like legit trying to make conversation. And she goes, "Oh, you had to dissect the fetal pig?" He goes, "Oh yeah, everybody does that." She's like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Yeah, I've had a lot of different hobbies too. Like I've been a burlesque dancer. One time I
Mhm.
went to this fetish festival, but I didn't know it was one." And he is
Mhm.
literally like, "Is it 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons? You can't put the baking powder in first. You have to do with the salt." She's like,
But
"Okay,
he's
you're really into."
right. I mean, with baking, you have to follow it down to a science or
Yeah,
it'll fuck up your whole peanut butter, banana, whatever he was making. And
right.
I found her to be too chatty.
I think she was just nervous and trying to make conversation.
Yeah.
And every time she tried to make conversation, he didn't like give her anything back. So she had to come up with new subjects. So I think it was his fault. I think she was doing, and normally I'm always on the person on the other side. Usually the
I
American is the jerk, but I didn't feel like I thought she was just trying to be like fun.
I think she was being kind of silly though.
Well, that's what he said. Yeah. Yeah.
I, I mean, he could have tried a little bit more, but I think he really was into this thing he was baking.
Yes.
And I think she could have, steered the conversation a little bit more towards what they were actually doing
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
not so much taking away the attention of what you know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
just weird.
I guess maybe a baking date is weird because one
I
person is
agree.
like really into doing the ingredients the right way and the other person is supposed to be like the helper. But if you're doing is handing him a bowl, how much are you helping? Or,
I agree
yeah.
with you 100% because I've seen like those dates where they go and cook something and they're like, oh, can you do this for me while I'm doing
Yes.
this? But it was just kind of, I don't think he liked her just
No,
from the
definitely.
jump.
Mm-mm.
No.
But it seems like on paper it would be a good match because he is Americanized. He's a doctor. He has
Mhm.
a career. He's the right age and all and likes to travel and all that. So, um, in his talking head out, he's sitting outside and he goes, "She is out of the world different from Czech women I've dated."
Mhm.
And she's silly and that's not so bad, but like we don't talk like that usually like on first dates. And so I'm really conservative and I was just trying to let her jokes pass me by and not react. I was like, if you're not going to laugh at somebody's joke, he's like, I was trying to give her the hint, like, I don't like these jokes. I was like, well, I mean, why be so serious? Right.
um,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it was. I, it's hard to find the fault in this situation. I
Like,
think
who's at
it was a
fault? Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was too serious. But then again,
Yeah.
he was trying not to fuck up his cake.
Yeah.
And then she was just. It was a silly talk, but I don't. They never need to see each other again. Let's
You're
just
right.
put it that way. Never,
I
ever, ever,
think that's
ever.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So in her talking head, she goes, he was hyper focused on teaching me how to bake this cake. And I was just like asking questions and trying to make conversation, but he didn't ask any questions of me, which is, a sign if people aren't interested. And so I think this
Right.
first date was a total failure. So
It was a dud.
it'll be interesting to hear what the feedback. Katarina will probably be like, okay,
Oh boy.
you need to not talk about being a burlesque dancer or going to fetish festivals. Let's take these things. Yeah.
And that's what was silly to me. You know what I mean? When she brought up the fetish thing, I'm like, why the hell is she telling him that
Yeah,
on?
it's just like yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stick to the fetal pig, that was interesting. Ew. Okay, so
I
no,
I didn't do it when we had to do it in high school. I refused. I
I don't
named the
think
pig. I was like,
yeah, I'm sure you did. You were probably like, "I'm gonna bring it back to life and take it home with me."
I tried.
All right, so now let's move on to Chad. So Chad doesn't go on a date this week, but he goes with Juan to get his hair done. And it's day 2 in Colombia. He's walking around and he's looking for something and he's just like asking people like, "Can you help me with these directions? I'm trying to get to 124. Is this 124? Am I here?" Um, and he says, Medellin is a lot different than waking up on the farm. You can't hear no birds chirping or nothing. It's a lot of traffic and a lot of noise. It's a lot for me as a country boy.
It was the
So
city, Chad.
yeah,
It's the city. Yeah.
he's never been to Memphis or anything, I guess. So
I guess not.
he says, I don't know. I wants me to meet him at a barber shop. This is what they do in their culture. I think it's weird, but hey, I could use a shave. So Juan says, Chad is a good guy, but he rushes into love. He's unable to see
Yes.
red flags because he goes too fast. So I need to teach him to slow down.
Right.
So they're sitting there, and the guys they're getting their shave and their steam and their haircuts and stuff. And he really did
That
look
was
real good.
fancy.
It looked real
Like,
good at the
it
end.
wa
Both of them did.
it made me wanna go get a haircut, but I think Chad is used to, like, supercuts or something like
Oh,
that, like,
yeah.
this was way fancy for him.
Yeah. It looked real clean at the end. They looked real
Yeah,
like they had a facial. They looked great.
yeah.
So Chad says, well, Maria, she is gorgeous and she knows English real well too. And I don't know, she may have had an issue with me saying I've been engaged 3 times.
You
And
think?
Juan goes, yes, I need to talk to you about that. You need to go slower. You don't need to
Mhm,
mention that. That's a major mistake. You need to control yourself on those
mhm.
topics.
I couldn't agree more. Like, I
Yeah.
need to hear about that when we've had, like, 3 dates and I kinda like you.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a
Not the
lot.
first date, yeah.
And so he says, but Maria does want to go on a second date. She was impressed with the American
Oh,
cowboy. Huh.
Huh, who would
And
have
he
thought?
says, I wouldn't have thought that, but he
Me
says,
either. I thought she was gone.
I did too. I thought she was like, but he
Yeah.
says, well, I'm grateful Juan's helping me. This is going to be great. I think I have jumped in too fast in the past, and I'm gonna slow my roll. And he's standing in the street doing like a little ITM, in the moment, and he looks real nice. Looks cute.
He's a cute guy, and I
Yeah.
love his eyes. But he is most definitely used to a slower lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. Any girl
Yeah.
that he finds is gonna have to want to be a I don't know what big city Pleasant View is closest to, but they're gonna have to want to be a country but it's just like freaking Natalie and Mike, if you don't want to live in Devood, you're gonna have a problem. Yeah.
He's gonna have his girlfriend and he are gonna have matching lawnmowers. Hers is gonna be pink, and he's gotta make
Cute.
sure those lines are straight. I think that would be like an anniversary gift to his
Cute. That's
wife.
cute. So maybe a girl from the big city is not for him. um
No.
okay. So now we have Mark using Nina in
Hmm.
Morocco.
Hmm.
So he is on his date with Houda, and they go out to get in this cute little tuk tuk. It just happens to have GoPro set up in it. What do you
Right
know?
there. Yeah.
What do you
It's
know?
like they knew they were filming a show or something.
It's like they just happened to pick the one that had the GoPros in it. So they go to this really nice place on the water. So I could see where they needed to be dressed up because it was a nice restaurant.
Hmm.
And he's making dumb jokes. And Huda says, he's a gentleman and he's handsome and he
Hmm.
doesn't look his age. And then he's kind of making conversations about the ice cubes and whatever. And she says, oh, yeah, they're having a good time. And they're
Yeah,
talking
I
about
was
the,
like, it's like he couldn't think of shit else to say except for the amount of ice cubes that are in there. Now, let me ask you, have
yeah,
you heard, because I'm in some other groups,
yeah.
people are saying that that was the ultimate catfish. Or did
What
they say
was?
catfish? Or they said how different she looked on the picture that Nina showed her versus how she looked in real life. Have
I
you
do
seen
think she
that?
looked. I did think. I haven't heard that, but I do think she looked a little different in the picture than she did
Hmm.
in real life. But both are equally beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I like that she wasn't a size 2.
She wasn't like stick thin, super like
No,
young. I thought she was beautiful and curvy, and I don't think
I
she
love
looked at
that.
that. Yeah, I don't think she looked at that. But I think her picture was like a probably like a professional headshot 'cause she looks like she's like sitting at a bar, like professional lighting. That picture that he
Yes,
was
I think
shown
there
was
was lighting. Yeah,
yeah, professional photo, and this is like real life, and she lives in that
right.
beautiful house.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so he tells her he's done worked as a sportscaster. Mostly he talks about
Mhm.
American sports. And he says, what do you do? And she says, well, I have a brand of bathrobes. And he's like,
Mm.
is it like lingerie? And she's like, I said bathrobes, but okay. So she shows him, what she sells. I guess she's an entrepreneur. She has her own business. And he's like, oh, that's really cool. And they seem
Mhm.
to have a easy conversation, a nice
They
time
did.
talking. Yeah. And then he says, they would kind of talk like, why did you go to the matchmaker? And, he's like, oh, I'm not necessarily here to like find a wife, but I'm interested in finding somebody that maybe would want to get married one day. And do you want
Right.
to get married one day? And she goes, yeah, why not? And he goes, oh my gosh, that's how people in America get divorced. Like, sure, what the heck? And,
Let's just do it. Everyone else is
let's,
doing it. We might as well do it too. What the heck?
yeah, why not? And
Yeah.
they laugh. And she's like, well, I don't know. So she's outside talking. And let's see. No, no, no. He says about her, he says she's independent and smart and career
Mhm.
driven. And if she was 34, she'd probably be
Right.
ready to settle down, but she's 24. So I really don't
Mhm.
know, what's going to happen here. So then he says, would you see me as like a partner or even somebody you'd want to like go out with, because I only have so much
Right.
time. Basically, I'm on a time schedule here. And if you don't want go out with me again, like let's get out of this hot sun and I'm in a tie,
Well, and I kind of agree with him, which I can't believe I'm saying that. I didn't even find him as disgusting this episode as the other episodes. I, I didn't. I didn't feel the need to vomit immediately afterwards. But they are on a time limit there,
Yeah,
and
right,
you
right.
really don't have time to waste. And I found it so funny because Huda's facial expressions, whenever, he would ask her a question, did not match the things that she said in her talking head.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, she likes him, but you just couldn't
Yeah.
tell by her facial expression. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. She's gonna tell him, no, I never want to see you again. No, 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 no. But she really likes him.
She likes him, and, of
Yeah.
course, we now never believe one thing they show us as a preview
Mm-mm.
because it's always the opposite of whatever it is.
Yes. Yes,
So
it
if
is.
we are led to believe one thing, go ahead and assume it's the other because they have been
True.
playing us so dirty with these previews.
They have.
So, he says, would you see that, like, you could be my wife one day? And she kinda smiles and she was like, "I don't know, maybe." And
Mm.
so she says she would like to go on a second date. And then she says outside, she goes, maybe if I could see him in normal clothes, like not that tie, like I'd like him more. I was like, Nina really did him dirty. That's all they could
She
talk about is his
did.
outfit.
She did him dirty in a lot of ways with that whole
Yeah.
arrangement. She really, really. I don't know about Nina as a matchmaker. I think she may need to just stick to comedy and boxing. And I'm gonna need to actually see her box, but this matchmaking business may not be the business for her. I don't know. Maybe
it's
it's one of her skits for her show.
maybe so. But yeah, I was like, you shouldn't have told him.
Mm-mm.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, this
No,
has promise and I can't believe it. I can't believe it because I thought
I
for sure
agree.
she'd be like, who's this oldie? But she
Me
didn't.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes Mark. Mm.
She likes him. So now we go to Susan. So this was a lot more promising. This was a
Yes.
lot more promising for Susan. We want the best for Susan. So Susan and Juan are going together on her date with Mauricio, who does not
Hmm.
really speak English. And she speaks
Right.
a little Spanish, I think, just a
Yeah,
little.
very little. Yeah.
So she says, I've had these two bad dates, but I'm going to
Mhm.
show Juan I can put my walls down. I'm going to show him I can do it. Here's fingers crossed that third time's the charm.
Poor little
So,
Calliope.
moo.
Calliope's like, we
I
gonna do
gotta go.
this again, Susan. Susan, are you gonna act right this time? Susan, are you just gonna be telling people that I'm hungry, haven't ate, so you can escape the date? Like, what are we doing here? What's the
On
plan?
this date, she literally put Calliope, like, in front of her like a shield, and
She
Calliope's little feet
did.
were on the table like, "Rrr," like she
Yes.
was like a two-headed monster, her head and
Yeah.
Calliope's head, yeah, yeah. She didn't put never put her down. She put her as a
Nope.
dog shield, yeah.
Yep.
So Juan says, "Listen, I'm mostly going on this date as a translator, but I also
Hmm.
wanna see how she acts on these dates. Like,
He needs
is it
to.
yeah, is it just her, or are these guys this bad or whatever?"
Right.
He says, Mauricio is a similar age to her. He has a very good job. He has not dated much since his divorce. He likes to travel, so hopefully this will be a good match.
And he's
So,
got good hair.
and good Lord, does this guy have good hair? Yeah,
I mean, this was all about high hair this episode. I mean, between these two dudes, their hair was as high Teresa Judice's at her wedding.
you're
It
right.
was a lot. Yeah.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's super cute. He has great hair. I don't
Mhm.
love the eyebrow piercing, but he's an artist, graphic designer. So,
Yeah.
we'll let it slide. So
Yeah.
he says, he's like, yeah, I'm a graphic designer and I'll show you my work. And so he's
Mhm.
showing her some of the things he does on his phone. He's saying it takes him a couple of days to get these things done. And she's like, wow, beautiful. Oh my gosh. She's very interested in him
She is.
and definitely is very enthusiastic, I would say.
She was
And
completely different on this date than the other days. Like she was smiling on this date.
I got so many shots of her just smiling her teeth off,
Yeah.
just
She
smiling,
was
smiling,
smitten.
smiling.
Yeah.
Yes. So she says, he's asking her, like, well, what do you like to do? And she says, well, I love traveling. I love art. And
Mm-hmm.
he says, she is beautiful. The date is great. It's going very
Yeah.
well. And I've even forgotten about the language barrier when I'm with her.
It's about goddamn time. Susan
I
had a
know.
good one.
Justice
Yeah.
for Susan. So
Yes.
he says that he does have one child. He has a 24-year-old, I think he said a son. And she was like, wow, you must have
I,
started young or something.
I was
And
thinking the same thing. I'm like, did he start when he was like 10? Because he looks so I was shocked by his
yeah.
age. I
So
never would have thought.
she says, "You must start young." And he says, "Well, how old do you think I am?" And she goes, "I don't know, like 40." And then he
Right.
goes, Go up, go up." She goes, 60. And he laughs and he
Which
goes, "Go
was
down."
cute.
Cute. 51. So she's 52. So same age. Yeah.
That man looks good. I don't know what kind of skincare regimen he has, but I need for him to share it with me immediately because he didn't look anywhere near 50.
No, and
Anything.
she said, "Oh, you must be happy, and that's why, like, you look
Hmm.
so good." And he says, "Yes, I am. I'm happy." So, in her talking head, she goes, "I think Juan sent me on those bad dates just to save Mauricio for last to show me like what a good date was?"
Yeah.
So he asked her, "What are you looking for in a man?" And she says, "Oh, well, somebody kind, funny,
Hmm.
smart, loves to travel, loves to learn." She says, "What are you looking for?" And he says, "Loyalty." That's it. That means his
Mm.
wife cheated on him.
Cheated. Yep. Most
Hmm.
definitely. Yep. Hmm.
And she says, "Yep, I agree. Loyalty is very important." And he says, "Were you ever married?" And she says, "Oh, it was a long time ago, and it lasted about 2.5 years. And we were just too young to be married."
Right.
And then she says, "I'm not sure marriage is a necessary thing." And he
Yeah.
agrees. Now, of
Yeah,
course,
because from
in
the
the preview,
preview, yeah, it made it
oh,
seem like he was gonna get up and run away after she said that, but
yeah, no,
there we go.
he was
Falling
like,
for
"I
TLC's
agree.
bullshit. Yeah.
I
Yep.
agree. I
Yeah, yeah.
agree."
Yep.
And he says he's been divorced now for 6 years. And she's like, "Oh, congratulations," and claps. And
Yeah,
he
that was
laughs.
cute
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We got to see her real personality on this date.
I think so.
We really did. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he says, "Would you like to go with me sometime and see something art related in the city?" And she's like, "Oh my God, yes, yes, I totally would. Yes, that would be
Mhm.
great. Yes." So he's
Mhm.
like, "Great, well, we'll set that up." And her talking head, so she's walking out and she whispers to Calliope, "He was cute."
He
And
was.
Calliope's like, "Put me down. I have legs." Um, and, and then she says, "This date has given her confidence and hope."
Yes,
Yeah.
thank God, because I had lost all hope for Susan. I really did.
I had to. I had to,
Yeah.
honestly. So now we got to go to Stanika. Now, I got a question for you. So,
Okay.
if you've seen these Reddit boards and stuff, have you heard about these cast members that are like talking shit about each other on these Twitter and stuff? Have you heard about this?
The only thing that I have seen has people, other castmates have talked about Mark when he said that whole ratings thing, which I don't
Yeah,
blame them for doing that because it
right.
kind of was egotistical, like, oh, the show's in the top 100s now because once I made
Because
my
now I'm
appearance.
on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mark, what you don't know is you almost made people turn the channel multiple times when you came on the show. So,
Right.
but other than that, no, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, because at the end of the interview you'll hear with Natalie, she
Mhm.
indicates that and she doesn't say what or who or anything. She just indicates that there's been a little bit of shit talking amongst the cast members, talking bad about each other. And so
That's
I'm gonna.
crazy. They don't know each other
They
unless
don't
there
know
was
each
a
other.
reunion. Do
No,
you think there's a reunion?
no. She said they are all planning to meet up in Vegas for the first time and like go on a trip together as like friends. They've just like talked to each other on the phone and stuff.
That's
Isn't that
really,
crazy?
really interesting. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
surprised to hear that actually. Well, we know Harold not talking shit because Harold's just far too nice to talk shit about anyone.
that's right. Like right.
He's
Justice for
probably gonna
Harold.
go to their meetup and draw a flower for each castmate.
I bet he does. I bet he draws them beforehand and he pulls them
Hmm.
out of his little book and goes, "You
Yeah,
reminded me of an orchid, so I brought you this."
yeah, I agree.
Oh, so sweet.
Hmm.
Yeah, Natalie was like, "Oh my gosh," she was like, "I'm so excited for Harold. Looks like he found him out." Like she was so excited for him when
Yeah.
she watched his story on the show. All right, but now we're talking about Stanika from Jackson, Mississippi. Whoop whoop. Using Nina, the matchmaker in Morocco. So she seems to be in a little house now because before when she was in America, she looked like she was in a hotel room, but now she seems to be like in an Airbnb or something, right?
It looks like sometimes they switch up the hotels because didn't Susan
She started at one and went to
go to
another.
one and went to another? Yeah.
Hmm. So she's making Moroccan tea. She's like, "Oh, this is old school." And she's having to make it, with the kettle and everything.
Hmm.
So she FaceTimes with Nourredine and he says, "Guess what? I'm back in Marrakesh. I'm hoping I can see you soon. And listen, I've told my mother about you and she
Wow.
insists on meeting you." And she's like, "What? What?" And he
She must have
says,
talked
"Yeah.
very well about her.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we're going to go to my auntie's house and my brother will be there too. So you're going to meet my mom, my brother, and my auntie."
Oh boy, that's a lot.
Oh, it is a lot. And my mom has to give approval. That's how it is in Morocco. And she's like, "Okay." So then she says, in the United States, when you go to someone's house, you take a gift with them, like
Right.
wine. He goes, oh, no, 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 no. Don't do that.
Not
No, don't do
mine.
that. No, no. Don't
Mm-mm.
bring wine. That's forbidden in our religion and especially for the old folks. Don't do that. Don't bring wine. She's like, okay.
Is it
And
all alcohol or just wine?
it's probably all alcohol.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was
Yeah. I
wondering.
mean, in the Muslim religion, you are not supposed to drink alcohol at all. Supposed to
Now,
100% treat your body like a temple and you don't put alcohol in your body.
so let me ask you this, Mary Payne.
Hmm.
If your mother-in-law, I already know what
Hmm.
my mother-in-law would have done,
Hmm.
had met you on the second date, do you think there would have been a third date?
Of course. I make a wonderful impression.
I don't think we would have. I think she would have taken away the first date if she could have. She was like, "Don't bring that girl home anymore."
I think that you and your mother-in-law have a long history together and you're basing it on that. But I think that you and your mother-in-law are in a good place now. Yes,
We
currently.
okay. We okay.
Okay.
We all right. We all right.
Better than the past.
Oh, way better than the past.
Yeah. See, there you go.
We yeah, we have yeah, like I said, way back then it would have been like, what the hell are you thinking? Don't you bring
Hmm.
this girl back over here and not approved, not approved. Loan application denied.
What about if you would have brought her some fabric? She'd be like, no.
Knowing her, she may have liked that.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, if
Might have
somebody's bring
she
me
might
some
have liked
fabric
that.
and to make me a dress, I might like it. I might like it.
Yeah, I mean you most definitely get points. I'll
Yeah.
say that. You get points.
So she says, well, what do you bring? And he says, I'll take you to a fabric shop and we'll pick out fabric and you give it to her as the gift. And then I'll take it to the dressmaker who will make her something, an outfit.
Yeah. Right.
And she goes, okay, but does your mother speak English? And he says, no, she doesn't speak English, but I will translate or my brother will translate. So, okay, great.
Mhm.
So they meet up and he's standing by his car and she walks up and he's like, hey, good to see you. Now, I think it's only been like a week. I don't think it's been very
Yeah,
long.
it's been days. She said like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, this is our 8th episode, but I think it's only been
Right.
a few days. I think they only did that
Yeah.
1 day trip to Rabat and then came right back.
Mhm.
So they kind of do like a Duggar side hug, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
she goes, "Listen, I know there's rules about PDAs in Morocco, but that hug, that wasn't it. That wasn't it." I was like, "Well, what do you expect? He's not allowed to kiss you or do anything, right?"
I didn't like that she did said that.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can.
He's doing what
Yeah,
he's supposed to do. So he, I don't know, doesn't get arrested, perhaps.
yeah, right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah. So they
No.
get in the car, the tiny little car, and he's like, "Oh, I've been thinking a lot about her." And he tells her, "You just can't bring anyone to your house to meet the
Hmm.
mother. So if you bring someone to your house to meet the mother, it has to be for an ending, like a marriage or something." And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
So she
You know
says,
that's what she wants. That's what she
"I know,
wants.
but she's never had a date before. She's never even
Oh
had a
yeah, that's
date."
true. Yeah, I
So
can always forget that this
yeah,
is all so brand new to her.
yeah, never ever even had a date, and now she's talking about marriage. It's quick.
Or as she's talking about meeting his mom.
Yeah. Which is leads to marriage. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a lot.
So she says, yeah, it's getting serious real fast and it does make me nervous, but it
Hmm.
also feels so natural.
Right.
So he says, listen, when you meet my mother, it's going to be your duty to impress my mother. Like you have to
Right.
do it. You have to bring it. You have to impress her. She's like, oh, Lord. So they're in the fabric shop and he says, what's your favorite color? And she says, purple. And he goes, oh, no, 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 no. No purple for my mom. Mm-mm. Nuh-uh. So it's kind of funny. I mean, they have a good little
It
banter
was.
back and forth. Yeah, because
They
he's got a good sense of humor. And
Yes.
so they pick something out, and she's like, "I like this one because it's dark, but it's got a little pop in it, got a little Stanika
Mhm.
in it. Like I like it." So he says, "Okay." So they pick that fabric, and she says, "Now what do I do when I meet her?" And he goes, "Well, you're going to have to shake hands, or you give the double kiss, and I'll show you." So he shows her the double
Mhm.
kiss, and she's probably like, "Oh, weak in the knees." Um,
You know she was. She's
and
like,
she
"Ooh."
shows him how she would handshake, and he's like, "That's okay, but this is what you want to do." So maybe this is like his
Right.
way to try to get closer to her. Maybe,
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
maybe he
I,
wanted to smell her and see what she smelled like.
because you
So
cannot be stinky.
no.
Mm-mm.
It's a good
No,
chance for
that's
her
a
to
turn
smell him
off.
too.
I bet he
So
smells good. I have a feeling he smells nice and fancy, like he wears the good cologne.
I feel like he felt smells like clove and cinnamon. Hmm,
I don't know. I just like him so much.
I like him too.
Yeah.
So he says, yeah, moving on to this step of meeting my mother is a big thing.
Mhm.
So then she says, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but my feelings for him are real. Like it's real easy to talk to him and I get butterflies when I'm around him. And if
Yeah.
the mom doesn't like me, it's over. Like it's
Game
over.
over. Yeah.
And that's it. And that's all we get from them. And we have Natalie and Harold we didn't get this week.
So which
So
means next week we're not gonna see Stanika's date. We're gonna have to wait 2 more weeks.
I guess that's how they're doing this.
Ugh.
Because I feel like some of these things they're wrapping up, So Michelle and Chad are new, so they're not wrapping them up. But I feel like
Mhm.
they're definitely wrapping up Susan and they're definitely wrapping up Natalie. And Harold
And I
too,
think
maybe.
Stanika too and Harold. Yeah. Cuz I mean, we've got 2 of them going on second dates with people.
Right. Right.
So yeah. Mhm.
I'm predicting Natalie ends up with um weird ear piercing Alejandro. Just because,
I still
when I would
have hope
ask,
for Juan.
you want Pablo the driver?
Yes. I want it to be him so bad. I really do. I like him.
Ah. So next time on Match Me Abroad, Harold and Michaela go do yoga.
Oh boy.
And listen, I thought he looked like he was doing a good job. He was doing one of those like downward dog, up into cobra, down back into downward dog. He was doing a good job, I thought.
Mary Payne, if someone tells me we're going out on a date and we're doing yoga, I'm gonna be like, how do I not fart? How do I do this? Like,
Oh,
I would
huh.
totally embarrass myself. The last
Wouldn't
time
have,
I did yoga, I peed on myself a little bit and an eyelash
uh-uh.
fell off.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
I
it
love
was
yoga.
too much.
I haven't done it in so many
Oh,
years, but when I used to do it, I really came home feeling like a real sense of accomplishment. But now because of my wrist, I can't do anything that involves pressure on my wrists because I'm old
it's
now.
hard.
It's
Yoga's
hard.
hard. It looks so nice and flowy when you watch people do it, but that
Yeah,
shit's
yeah.
hard. Really
She
hard.
looked like she was real good at it. She looked good at
Mhm.
yoga. So he says he worries after this yoga class, he may never see her again. And then as they're
Oh.
sitting there after the class, she tells him, yeah, this week I go to work. I'll be at work 12 hours every day. So I wonder if she works like a week for 12 hours and then she like comes home for a week. And then, you know what I mean? Because she acts like
Well, she
she's
says she
leaving to go
worked
out
a
of
lot.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that on the first date that she works a lot.
So maybe this is just over a weekend they're seeing each other and she doesn't work at the spa on the weekends,
Perhaps.
maybe.
Okay.
So Susan goes on another date with Mauricio. And he says, okay, so you have a brother who's married, who has a daughter. Okay, right. And he says,
Mhm.
and why haven't you had kids? And of course, I'm
Mm.
sure that they edited this to make it seem like it's awful, but I'm sure she probably
Yeah.
explains it. And he's like, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Um, so she says, normally she doesn't have these conversations on the second date. And then I'm sure what she's going to say that we don't see is, but I feel so at ease with him. I don't mind
Yes.
talking because
Yes.
she shut that shit down with that other guy.
Immediately. What does she say? Let's not kick that tree or
Uh huh. Uh huh.
something
We don't
like
need to
that.
kick
Yeah.
that tree. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's going to be fine. Then we see
Mhm.
Michelle, the princess, and she says, she's turned off by Michael, the doctor. She was like, he doesn't have the confidence that I would think that a doctor would have because he's a handsome doctor. You'd think he'd be confident, but he didn't seem to be very confident. And
Hmm.
Michelle says, let's see. Oh, so Michelle says to Michael, so Katarina tells me that Czech men are more conservative with their relationships. And he's just like,
Mhm.
like panic. And she talks to Katarina, who says, listen, you need to get him naked, emotionally naked. And how
Naked.
to do that? Hmm.
Hmm. I can't wait
So
to hear how you do that.
I think that Michael is too serious for Michelle. He doesn't have enough personality for her, I think. She needs somebody a little goofier.
Yeah, their personalities most definitely don't match, and I can't decide whether I like Michelle or not. Maybe that's why I was so hard on her about the date.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
decided yet. I don't know. It's the feminist and the princess thing that I'm just like, you're a little bit
Right.
confused,
Right.
Michelle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Katarina's like. You got to figure out like why you feel this way. Like what's the actual situation here? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So Natalie is going on a second date with Alejandro, and she says he is sweet. and attractive, and it's what she's looking for in a life partner. But then Juan walks into the date, and she's like, "Uh-oh, like, why is Juan here?" So we
Instead
don't
of
know.
Alejandro.
Mhm. Maybe he's running late. I don't know.
Mm,
Maybe he's there to bargain a proposal. I don't know. We
interesting.
see we see Nourredine take Stanika in to meet his family, and she seems
Oh,
to
so we
do
do see it next
yeah.
week.
We just see
Oh,
It says
okay, okay.
Nourredine takes Stanika to meet his family. That's my note. And they all walk in, and she does do the
The
kiss on
kiss
both
kiss.
cheeks.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. So I gotta
That's it.
say that I think people now we're into 8 episodes. I think people are getting on board with the show.
I agree because I'm seeing more of it like on Reddit and on Instagram. I'm like, finally, you guys are watching this show. It's such an easy show to watch
Yes,
because there's not drama. You know what?
right.
The most drama we've seen is Susan on a bad date. That's it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
It's not all
Hmm.
this other stuff like well, let's just say love after lockup.
That is what I told Natalie and the TLC person. I was
Mhm.
like, the reason we like this show is so light and easy breezy. I said,
It is.
because we cover some dark shit like Love After Lockup. Yeah.
Mhm. Most definitely.
And then
Yes.
I asked Natalie, I said, if you found a man on this Match Me Abroad, would you go on 90 Day Fiance? Because you applied once. And she was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can decide if like reality TV is for me. Yeah.
I think
And
you
that's
like reality TV,
That's
Natalie.
the opposite. They always say, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do another season or another." She said
I think she would too.
she did say it is real awkward to go on a date and then there's like a big giant man sitting in the corner staring at you, with a
Yeah.
cameraman. Yeah.
I mean, that's happened to me before, and that big guy was producer James over there watching me on my date in the corner just watching.
That's creepy.
Super.
This is
Oh, speaking of love after lockup,
yes.
your boyfriend, Mike, and what's the girl's name? I want to call her Juju. I know that's what they call
Juju on
Justine.
that Juju on that beat? Yeah.
Juju on that
On
beat.
that
They
beat?
just went a couple of days ago for their last doctor's appointment for the baby. So the baby should be here any day now.
They were due late June and it's currently July, so yeah.
I think I'm thinking they probably told her we're gonna induce you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is her 4th kid. It seems like she would have
They
gone
usually
early.
kind of you spit them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Do we know if it's a boy or a girl? I can't remember.
They haven't said, but Cameron and Aries have been posting little ultrasound pics of their little girl too, and she looks like she is about to pop.
She's not due till, like, August, she said, and I can't believe that because she was, like, super
She
pregnant
her
on the show.
And she just they shared pictures of her birthday and her stomach it's like she is carrying a hippopotamus in there. It's her
Oh,
stomach is
no.
huge. Yeah, but
Oh,
she
she's having a
hasn't gotten much bigger. It's just the stomach is bigger.
oh, man, she's having a big baby. Big
I think
baby.
so too. Which is odd considering Cameron's the dad.
True.
Yeah.
He just a little fella.
He a little fella. Yeah.
Oh, God, I was laughing to myself yesterday, Keisha, thinking about you because I can't remember what how things just pop in your mind. You're like, "What made me think of that?"
Yes.
I was thinking about that time I said we were up recording, and I said, "Well, Keisha, Cameron's something something," and you said, "You can't tell him nothing."
You can't tell him nothing, okay? Because Cameron is confident, okay? Gold grill and all, he is confident. 4'7", and he is still very confident in himself. You can't tell Cameron shit. Period. Point
Oh,
blank.
it's funny because
I
that was
love
the
Cam.
episode where like his sisters came over and he was like, "I'm a man. You can't tell me nothing." It was
You can't tell him
so
nothing.
cute.
Nothing. No, you cannot. I'm
I don't
hoping that
know
they're going to
why.
be on Life After Lockup.
I'm sure they are because they're married and
I hope
everything
so.
and had a baby and yeah,
Yeah.
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 And he got
I
that
miss
customer
him.
service job. It's like you're calling to
Mhm.
return your bowl and branch sheets and Cameron's answering the phone like, "Why are you returning the sheets?" No.
It's OG Cam. That's what his Instagram handle is. OG Cam. I don't know. Maybe their last name is OG something. I
No,
don't
he's
know.
OG. He wants you to know he's OG.
But he's like 30. Like you got to be a little bit older than 30 to be an OG. You got to be like at least 55 and up to be OG. But
Oh, I'm
it's
getting there
Cameron and you
then.
can't tell them nothing.
Oh, it's so funny. Okay, I did pretty good. I waited till the very end to yawn, guys. I'm
You
sorry.
did.
I'm
You did.
sorry.
You did. You did
Oh, all right.
very
Well, tell
well.
me, Keisha. Tell. You were telling me earlier who you have on your podcast this week. Tell the listeners about that.
Yeah, it's Deborah from Potomac. She was a friend of last
Mm-hmm.
season, and
Mm-hmm.
she's so super dope. Like, I felt like
Yeah,
I was talking to a friend. Like,
she's good
I
friends with
really liked her
Ashley
a
in
lot.
real life.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. And so we talk a little bit about that. The show should be out. I got to record my segment, so it should be out either Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
So check
Perfect.
it out.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
then last week, of course, you had Extreme Sisters, Patrick and Patrice, Patrix and
Yes.
Patricia. I never get it right.
It's
Patrix,
It's Patrika and Patrix.
Patrix and Patrick. Listen, why'd their mama do them like that? That's rough.
I don't know, but if you go, because I know I talked about the
Yeah.
wigs that
Yeah.
they had on. If you go to Instagram now, they've got those wigs on, so you can actually see what they look like.
You
They're
said they
like,
were like different colors.
it was cute, and I'm not about like a whole bunch of different colors, but it worked. I was like, "Can y'all send me one of those wigs?" I can't wear it until the fall because it is just too damn hot right now. But send me one of those wigs. Yeah, most definitely.
The fall in Houston, which will be December.
Ye-
Yeah.
Uh, almost January because it just likes to stay hot here. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, everybody go and listen to Keisha's great interviews that she's been doing and follow her on Instagram, of course, at the Libra Lounge with Keisha.
Yep.
Please follow us on Instagram as well, Pink Shade Pod. We've got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of new Instagram followers from the interview I did with Landon from Landon Talks, and that was
Mm-hmm.
really fun. We're gonna have him back on to do like a Bravo chat in a month or so when he's going to come back, or maybe we're going to call it Barely Bravo. We're going to call it Beyond Bravo. We're going to call it coming up with a different name for Thursday. It'll take a while, but Ingrid and I are going
I
to have a business
saw
meeting this week.
some. Okay, because I saw a lot of people giving name suggestions to it.
Hmm. Some of them are really good. Some of them are so funny. I'm like, I can't call it that, but dang, that's funny. Um, and
Thirsty
that's it.
Thursday. I saw someone put that. I was like, I kind of like Thirsty
Well, Thirsty
Thursday.
Thursday is good, but I mean, that's not original. People say that all the
Oh, so
time.
that's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
it's got to be original. Got to be original.
I know you
But
guys will pick the
I
perfect
know. I know. And a bunkie reached out to me today, Susan, who sent me the Temptation Island MP3, which I was trying to get here on my soundboard and
name.
hadn't been able to get it because it's not available. Now, do you know who sings the Temptation Island theme song?
I
Because,
don't watch Temptation Island,
oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. You're missing out.
but
Anyway,
I
this,
still want to know who sings the theme song.
well, I'm going to play it and then you tell me
Okay.
if you could, there's not any way in hell you are going to know this voice, but
Oh boy, I
here
might.
it
I
goes.
might. Okay. Well, I could tell you who it sounds like.
If you guess it, I'm gonna die. What? Who?
I mean, it actually sounded like Jessie J.
Okay, but that's not it.
Jessie J. Okay, give me a hint. Like, is this person a real singer or like a reality TV singer?
This person is the younger sister of a very uh, well-known actress and bad girl.
And
Somebody
she's
that's
a,
like in the paparazzi in the news a lot, or used to be, not anymore as much.
not Lindsay Lohan's sister.
Yes.
Hey, you didn't think I was gonna get it, and what do I get? I want a pair of those pink shade flip flops and a fan.
Okay. You get yes, Allie Lohan sings that song. Isn't that wild?
Yes, I am, girl. Oh, you can't tell me shit for the rest of the day because I
I
guessed that
mean,
one.
you need to go play the lottery. You could right now.
You know what? You're damn right. Yes. And now you know if I win the lottery, y'all not gonna see me no more, right?
That's it. That's it. No
That's
more
it.
co-hosting. That's
I'm like,
it.
Mary Payne, who? Did where
Mm.
I know her from? Yes. Okay. That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, and you can't find it anywhere. So I'm always trying to like put it on my soundboard so I can play it when we recap it, but you can't find
Mhm.
it. So a bunkie, I guess, somehow got it off. I mean, because I like recorded my TV, but then that sounds like shit, so I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
So yeah. All right. Well, that's it, guys. Please follow us over on the social media, and
Yes.
we'll talk to you next week.
Matchmaker,
Social media.
Yeah. Oh, I played the song, but it stopped. Let's see if it'll go.
matchmaker,
There it
matchmaker,
goes.
make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book and make me a perfect match.